Welcome. How is everyone today? I am Euletha Wade, and I welcome you to New Mount Calvary's virtual happy hour. So, you see, this is a time of reflection and relaxation. I have my vanilla lavender candle where I am going to relax, and we're just going to chit chat for a little bit. I have my favorite drink, ginger ale. Get your drink and let's talk. Let's have a happy hour. And that's what we do at happy hour. We come together with friends and with family, and we just reflect a little bit, and we talk and kind of hash out how we really feel and what's going on with us, right? So I have been served. Have you? I hope you have your favorite drink. So today is just basically a pulse check. Let's talk about a time of reflection and how we feel. How are you doing as we are approaching the last couple of days of our fasting, where New Mount Calvary is coming together to fast and to pray? How are you doing? Or are you happy? Right? It's happy hour. So are you happy? And when you think about the word happy, it's basically, Webster says, it's a state of contentment. It's an expression of feelings. And that's true. Happy is basically how we're feeling at this moment. But there's one thing that I really like. Let me tell you something. Remember, we're at happy hour, so we're just having a conversation. I have found that psychologists, there's two psychologists, one by the name of Kaiser and Dean. They said that happiness is more than just your mood or experience. And I thought, They said it's really how you evaluate your life and the satisfaction which affects your mood and your emotions. I need to say that again. I'll toast to that. Happiness is more than just your mood or your experience. It's basically how you evaluate your life and the satisfaction of your life, which affects your mood and your emotion. How about a toast to that? I also like what Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 9. He says, enjoy the life that you yet live today. And I think that we all agree that life is precious, right? But I know that 2020 has been challenging. However, it's the past. Would you agree? And I know many of us have no problems identifying with Paul when he said, if there's not anything else that I do, I forget the past and press forward to what God has in store for me. I think I'll toast to that one. As a result, let's think about what 2020 presented us with. 2020 has actually forced us to change. It has actually, ironically, showed many of us who are not so inclined to change or who don't see the need to change. 2020 forced us to change. But let's think about it. Ironically, what 2020 has done is those of us who felt we did not need to change, who did not want to change, we had to make a decision to change just to save our lives. I don't know about you, but I have had not just a physical change, not just a mental and an emotional change. I've had a spiritual change. Let me tell you something. I have been one praying sister in 2020, and I think I'll toast to that as well. My prayer life has changed. I don't know what has changed with you, but it has taken me out of my comfort zone. Whereas, I thought things were well, we're moving forward, thought that I was in a good place spiritually, thought I was in a good place physically, emotionally, and mentally. Well, I found out that I had some reforming to do. right? So in 2020, I know that on December 31st, many of us celebrated, said goodbye 2020. But guess what? 2020 really was our left side that had us leaning, things weighed down on us. But if you think about it, there was a pivotal point moving forward into 2021. There was like a 9-second that took us from 2020 to 2021. So basically, in the natural, we went into 2021 with some of the same struggles that we had in 2020. Would you agree? Of course we did. But here's the difference. What did we learn in 2020? What changes did you make in 2020? What things did you do differently from spring 2020 up into December 2020? Now that we're in 2021, where do we go from here? Oh my God. The same challenges are there, right? But what am I going to do with myself? How do I move from here? How do I embrace the change I experience for my benefit in 2021? And I had to think about it. Since my prayer life has changed and it has evolved to a different level, what am I going to do in 2021? Here's 2020. Here's 2021 on my right side. How do I balance? Good question. What about you? What are you thinking? What change have you experienced that now you are faced with a choice to evolve to the next level, whether it's spiritually, whether it's the way you think, the way you operate, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself? What's your change that now you need to evolve to a better you? I'll drink to that. It's all about being a better me, right? And I think about, I talked about what Paul said about one thing that I know that to do is forget the past, press forward to the high calling in Christ. That's good. But I also like something that God told to Isaiah in Isaiah 43:15, 18 and 19. He said, listen, I need you to forget the former things, right? Because behold, he said, look, listen, see, I'm about to do a new thing. Are you ready for something new? Are you ready for a change? Are you really ready for the newness of life? He said, listen, behold, I'm about to do a new thing. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the new thing. And I want to be transformed and I want to evolve into the newness that God has for me. Also, I thought about something that John said in Revelations 21:5. He says, listen, Isaiah told us, forget the former because I'm doing a new thing. Paul said, I've learned, if nothing else, I don't proclaim to know everything, but one thing I've learned is forget the past. And then here comes John in the end, in the book of Revelations. God says, listen, I will make all things new. I need it. Yes. He said, I will make all things new. But I'm left with a choice, guys. How do I balance what I've learned and where I am now? How do I balance that? How do I not be so weighed with my past and so weighed with my future and just come to a good, even balance to progress? For me, I'm making a choice. I am going to, yes, forget the negative in 2021. And I am going to forget those things that weigh me down in a negative sense. But those things that is positive in 2020, I think I need to bring them, embrace them, because they're going to help me evolve to what God has planned and purpose for me in 2021. How about that? So my prayer life changed. My focus has changed. My outlook on things have changed. Behold, God said, listen, Behold, I will make all things new. Think about it. When you're going into newness, it's something totally different than what you had before. Write that down. Something totally different, an experience totally different, a prayer life totally different, a talk totally different, a walk totally different than the way I was in 2020. Selah. Sit back, pause, and think about it. I will evolve. I will transform. I will embrace my pivotal change from 2020 to 2021. And guess what? And become that which I know God has purposed and ordained for me. So are you happy? Are you happy? This is happy hour. What is it? What is it that's within you that makes you happy? I think we've learned in 2020, it's not things, it's not stuff, it's not position, it's not power. It's life is precious. I think we see that the most precious and important thing in life right now is our relationship with God and our relationship with one another. Let me tell you something about me. I'll admit, I used to be very critical of the children of Israel as they were going through all of the different plagues. And I used to say, how do they doubt God? I mean, they see God doing all these miracles from them, from one miracle to the next. How in the world do you doubt God when you have seen him move? Well, since the pandemic, I will never, I'm going to do my best, but I don't think I will pass judgment on the children of Israel. The pandemic has taught me something. Would you agree? I'll toast to that. Because I see that my trust in God is what's going to keep me balanced. Yeah. That's what's going to keep me anchored. You know, that's going to keep me sure. That's going to keep that sure foundation for me. So when I think about transformation, I have transformed a lot of things. And guess what? I'm going to embrace them and I'm going to evolve. I keep saying it. I'm going to evolve to what God has for me. I want to be happy, right? I've learned in this time of isolation, in this time of being in a hibernation, in the pandemic, being quarantined. I've had to go on quarantine a couple of times because I've come in contact. But I've learned something. At one point, I've learned that I'm never alone, right? And that I can be content. I didn't realize I can be content in whatever state that I am, whether I'm a base or bound. I've learned that I can be content. Yeah, and I've learned my happy place. So what about you? What's your happy place? Have you learned how to be happy with who you are? How about that? And guess what? How to be happy with change? You know, a lot of times we get to the point to where we try to force people to change. We say that you must change, and I agree. Or we say that other people forces us to change. Well, guess what? We've had to make a decision to change the way we do things in order to save our lives. What change have you made spiritually to save your life? That's good. Now, I like that. I've made a change to save my life physically, but what has been my spiritual change? What has been my spiritual transformation to make me evolve, or that has been a part of that pivotal change in my life? So I really like what Solomon said in Proverbs 4:26. He said, listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to consider well the path of your feet. Yeah, consider the path of your feet and let all of your ways be established and ordered aright. Consider the path of your feet. Yes. And let your ways be established. That's what's going to make you happy. That's what's going to put you in your happy place. So again, this is happy hour. 2021 has placed us in a position to make a decision to evolve. I plan to evolve. I am going to evolve. During happy hour, we come together, we talk about what we're going to do, how we feel. Yes, I've been down. I've been depressed. I've had challenges. Yeah, I've been so done with this, being in the house, can't go anywhere. Oh my God, I had vacation planned last year, right? My family, we were going to go on vacation in June of 2020. Well, that was canceled and haven't been able to go anywhere since. I haven't seen my family. My family is large. It is huge. I have not seen them since Super Bowl. We have not been able to gather. That's very uncommon for us. I come from a family of 9 siblings. At Thanksgiving, we all get together, which is commonly about 60, 70 people. Yeah, and we have a ball. I didn't know how. I never could imagine not cooking for days for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, as a matter of fact. But guess what? Those holidays were quiet, surreal. They were really different. But we learned something. We learned we could be happy in spite of whatever state that we may think we're in physically. So I understand how you feel. I know you're so over it. So am I. I know you're done. I know you're saying enough is enough. I can't take it anymore. I get that. But guess what? Take advantage of this moment. Because I used to complain about cooking so much for Thanksgiving. Think about it. I used to say, I'm so tired. I've cooked for 2 days. I've cooked for 3 days. House full of people, when they all leave cleaning up, would constantly complain about it. This year, I cried because I missed it. So I thought about my pivotal point to evolve to a better me. Stop complaining. Toast to that. Why complain? What good is it going to do to you? Won't change anything. Be careful, because you'll get what you complain about. You'll get what you ask for. I complained about it. Yeah. And then when that time comes, well, I did not have to cook for 2 and 3 days. Did not have to do all this baking. Because, hey, let me tell you a secret. Let me tell you what I used to do. I would cook German chocolate cake, sweet potato pies, pumpkin pies, pound cake. Look at everybody's favorite, right? So I ended up being the baker of the family because of my mother. Doing all of this baking, do a case of greens and all of this cooking, dirty rice, and we would have food out the wazoo, right? This year, I cooked 1 cake, 1 pie, because it was no one but just, my husband and the kids and I. And so it was different, guys. And I'm sure yours was different too, if you obeyed the suggestions on how we celebrated our holiday. So what am I saying? I think that another pivotal point in my life for me to evolve in, complaining. I am really going to work on complaining, because when the Lord allowed me to experience what I was complaining about, I didn't like it. I didn't like not having a house full of people for Thanksgiving. I didn't like not cooking all of the food that I would cook for Thanksgiving. So, let's. I think Solomon helped us. He said, consider your ways and they'll be established. So we need to consider some of the things that we did in 2020 and let them help us to evolve in 2021. And so for me, this has been a place for me to evolve in my walk in my talk and in my lifestyle. I want to read a scripture that Timothy said in 1 Timothy that is really, really kind of got me a little bit. In 1 Timothy, the 6th chapter, verse 17 through 18, and I'm reading from an amplified version, and he says, as for the rich in this world, change them not to be proud and arrogant and contemptuous of others, nor to set their hopes on uncertain riches, but on God. He said, who richly and ceaselessly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Yes, he does. He said, change them to do good, to be rich in good works, to be liberal and generous of heart, ready to share with others. Verse 19, in this way, here we go, the pivotal point, laying up for themselves the riches that endures forever as a good foundation for the future. 2021 is it's not completed. We just began. Did you lay up a foundation for your future? Have you been laying up a foundation for your future? So that they may grasp that which is life indeed. That excites me. I'm going to say that again. Laying a foundation so that we may grasp what life is indeed. A pivotal moment, a pivotal point. 2020 should have laid a foundation for us to grasp in 2020 what life really is. Oh my. Let's evolve. You know, I think about the butterfly. It starts off as a caterpillar. And with us, and I've done a research and a study on that before, the caterpillar goes through a phase. It goes through a process in life to where it jeopardizes itself. It could be smashed. It could be crushed. It crawls. Some may even consider low life. That you may have thought that you were the lowest of lowest. You may think that I'm crawling through life. I'm so fragile. I'm so soft. I'm just so done. But guess what? It goes to a point that it sheds off things. It sheds. There's a shell that sheds. And it kind of goes through a period of hibernation. And then it starts shedding this outer shell. The old starts dying. And when it dies, it just comes off. And then the next thing you know, it actually transforms to a butterfly. And what I like about butterflies, there's such a variety, there's such a diversity of colors and and they're beautiful. They're gorgeous, right? So what we have to do is come to a point in our lives and not only transform to evolve, but we have to embrace it. It's got to be a choice. How about catching the train as it moves? Don't miss it. Don't miss what God is showing us, what God is teaching us. But we have to balance it. 2021, let's balance our life to make sure that we are evolving to what God has for us, just for us. Just for you. Listen, if I was at happy hour with my girlfriends, I would be saying, girl, listen, right now, it's all about me. Is it really? Is it really truly all about you? Because, so if it's all about you, what are you going to do with that? How are you going to handle it? Girl, what you going to do? Or if a guy is with his man, okay, you saying you're going to live for you. It's all about you. What does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean? Does that mean that you're changing? Does that mean that you're moving from faith to faith and from glory to glory? Does that mean that you are now more compassionate? I know I am. Oh my God. I am so compassionate toward people. I have a list of people that I'm constantly praying for healing, for God to move miraculously in their lives, for salvation, for provision. So what's your evolution? What are you going to do spiritually? What have you done differently? What have you done differently? Now, it's very easy to, once we get back to some sense of normalcy, to forget what we've experienced. It's very easy to do that. But what would it profit? Remember, Timothy said that we needed to lay up a foundation for us so that we would know what life really was. So as you go through your metamorphosis, as you go through your transformation, as you have embraced your change, be happy about it. It's not about what you experience. And I'm going to have to agree with the psychologist. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about how you feel about where you are. No one can change how you feel about where you are but you. Pastor Moore can't help you. Oh, he can preach and make you happy for the moment. That's an emotion. That's how you feeling right then. But what about that substantial inner satisfaction, that inner peace? That will carry us to the next day? Evaluate, just like the psychologist said, happiness is how you evaluate where you are. I've been evaluating for here 10 months. I've been evaluating Euletha. Yes, she needed to change. Yes. She needed some refining. She needed to transform so that she can evolve to that person God really has ordained and purpose for her to be in life. Not just being a super spiritual person. No. It's more to that. It's more than that. Living a life of integrity, living a life of holiness, living a life of being non-judgmental. I think we all kind of get like that where we judge, and we shouldn't, right? Who has time? I don't anymore. I'm at a point now, and I didn't understand it. I used to hear my mother and my aunts and all of them talk about, remember we had happy hour, we just having a conversation, would say things and we would be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. I can't believe she's saying she don't care, blah, blah, blah. I get it now, because you find out life is more important, and you find out that the human being, right? Humans, our sisters and our brothers, their life are more important than just stuff, more important than a good time, more important than trying to make everybody like you. That's what's so unique about God, diversity. Yeah, diversity. Embracing and accepting everyone for who they are. I hope that you, once we come together, that you embrace me, the new me. You may say, oh, you look different. Yes, I do. My hair have grown. That's an outer appearance. I'm a little bit more relaxed. But guess what? There's a new me. And I hope there's a new you. I have evolved, or I am evolving into what God has ordained and purposed just for me. So this is Calvary's virtual happy hour, and I want you to think about what makes you happy. Let's toast to happiness. Let's toast to evolving to a new me, to a higher level, to what true happiness really means to us. What's happiness to me may not be happiness to you. But what matters is that we're all happy and that we have a joy that this world cannot take away. And a peace that definitely surpasses our understanding. And guess what? We have been keeping our minds stayed on Jesus, because if we allowed our minds to go with how we feel, many of us would be really in bad shape. And some of us have experienced deep depression. And I know some have even contemplated suicide, right? And they thought, if I just can't take it. But thank God for grace and for mercy and for his peace. He is Jehovah Shalom. So I look forward to seeing you, New Mount Calvary, as you join the path of evolution as we evolve to a better us. Have a good one. See you next time.